Well, I guess I should remove this video piece here before. Okay, can y'all hear us? And you muted.
I'm sorry.
You're okay. I was like, wait, she's not talking. I look, let's go. Wait, she's muted.
It's just been one of those weeks.
It is. Hey, Vanessa and Witchy Bitch inside the purse talking with JoJo.
It's JoJo.
She is here. And whoever else is watching in the shadows. Make sure y'all run over there and give me a thumbs up. Appreciate it. Vanessa, I'm doing better. I keep having weird headaches. And weird memory things. Hey, April Bell. And it was like little words kind of start. So if I stumble on things, guys, I apologize ahead of time. Hey, KO. But today was a pretty good day. Hey, Rebrand. But man, but I have, I share my weight loss with y'all, and I was at 75 pounds. I'm now at 74 pounds because of all the electrolytes I've been drinking to replenish myself from being dehydrated and low electrolytes. And now I've gained a pound of water weight and have to pee every 20 minutes. So, hey, Stevie. So, weight, yay me. But I'm feeling better. So now if I can just not be a hardhead and do things I shouldn't be doing. Hey, Kim G. I missed that one.
Stevie, my phone's on charge. Every time I talk to you, her, or Christy, every one of y'all are like, plug your phone up.
I know, your goes dead. That or your headphones.
I know. I'm awful. Okay. My phone goes dead for hours.
You know what she needs for her birthday? She needs new earbuds.
I have a set that's not Apple, that is Turtle Beach, but it still plugs into your Apple. I just don't like them.
Oh.
Hey, but they're like brand new. I've had them they were a gift, and they're still in the box. But they're not Apple. And
I have a cheap pair that I bought off Amazon, and I really do kind of like them, except the little rubber piece that goes on the end of them. I've lost all of them. I don't know how. They keep going by, and bye. So it's just this little plastic piece now that sticks in my ear, but they're not sound noise canceling. So if I get on the lawnmower to mow, I can't use them.
Yeah, see, my Apple are noise canceling.
Inside the purple purse, I have lost 75 pounds.
Turtle Beach, aren't.
Technically 74 pounds, 74 pounds because I did gain a pound back, but it'll go away once this levels out. But and on that subject, I went today I wanted a pair of shorts or another pair of capris because I bought 2 pairs of jeans last week or the week before, whenever that was. Hey, Tits Mom.
No, Stevie, you can't say nothing mean.
Let's play nice in the chat. How about that?
I told her earlier, I said, are you going to make me have to say, Stevie, don't be mean? It's become a trend. Stevie, don't be mean.
Hi, Brittany.
Hey, Britt.
60 pounds. Could lose more, but I'd be happy with 60. What are you doing? I am on tirzepatide. I was on Manjaro, and because of the shortage, I went over to a compound. And my body seriously needed it because nothing was working and diets weren't working. I cannot do normal exercise because of the AS. And so, hey, Steph. And so I went to the medicine route, and I started in May of last year. And so I have been on the slow train to losing, but slow is better because it helps your body get where it needs to be and stay there. I've got 50 pounds to go. So 50-ish, right around in there. But today, I was at the store and I'm like, look, right now, because I'm losing, I buy cheap clothes. I don't buy anything. It ain't over $20, right? And so I was getting a pair of shorts, and can y'all answer me why the hell Walmart's got winter clothes out? It's
because it is pumpkin spice time almost.
It is August. It is still 155 degrees here in Texas.
No, I cut a watermelon about a month ago as a jack-o'-lantern. Did I not send you pictures of it?
No.
Yes, I did. The kids wanted watermelon. So I was like, okay, I'll do it. And I started cutting it. And I was like, you know what? No, I am so ready for fall. So I made a jack-o'-lantern with a pumpkin.
When I cut watermelon, I give it to the chickens. So I get a part of it and then they get the rest of it. Yes, Kim, I had them check my muscle mass the other day and part of this, and I'm doing beautifully there. And KO, I am in full blown menopause, so I feel you on that one. But y'all, it's 155 degrees here in Texas. That's an exaggeration. It's 106, but it feels 155 because Kendall got a kick out of this. I literally said we are in Satan's ass crack here. It sweats. You sweat like there's no tomorrow because of the humidity. It is hot as hell. And there were sweaters and sweatpants and these funky ass. I don't know what these dresses are because I ain't seen nobody wearing them. But like, I don't know what Walmart's thinking with their clothes. It was
Halloween decorations already. Her and my son are ganging up on me because they both want me to move to Texas, which is probably most likely what is gonna happen. But
he's coming to Texas. It's just all there is to it.
they use each other against me.
And if you're listening, Chase, I'll get you my cell phone number, buddy. He wanted my number the other day so him and I could coordinate.
Vanessa, me and Brandy talked about that the other day because I told her, I was like, I knew I had talked about it with people really close to me and had mentioned it in a live, but I didn't remember telling much of that story. But Brandy said I guess I said more than I remembered. But I guess me and Brandy can one day do a live because I can't remember where I talked about it.
Oh, your story.
The about being a member of a convicted murder,
Yes.
a family member of a convicted murder.
Yeah, I think we need to do that story again.
Yeah, so and I don't care to do it and go more in depth of the case itself. I just didn't remember. I mean, I have no skeletons. Anybody asks me, I'll tell them.
Hey, Harley Kim. Hey, S.L. Connolly. And
but we'll try to get together and figure that out when to do that.
Brittany, I am on right now. I'm using Join Fridays, and the compound pharmacy is Hallandale, and they have a really good reputation. I've been very picky about the pharmacy, because they need to be FDA approved and make sure they're using proper ingredients to make the compound. Oh wow, Stevie.
Yeah, Stevie's told me her story. There's a lot of us that has convicted murderers in the family. It's really weird because half my family is law enforcement, and then on the opposite side, the other bloodline, we have someone convicted of first-degree murder. So,
well, I mean, if you go in, and Mochi is a good one, Brittany. If you go into my family, I've got serious criminals in my mom's side of the family. I was telling Kendall the other day, they're like two sociopaths, like truly serious criminals.
And that's where I said, that there's victims on both sides. I was a kid.
Oh wow!
When it happened,
S. O'Connell has a sister who has life in prison. Hey, Ozzy.
That would be a good live and just let people up and tell their stories.
Tell their stories if they want to. We'll have to do that. That sounds like a very good idea. Oh, Stevie. That's so sad. So, first, y'all, Harley, I am doing a lot better. I'm still fighting headaches, and I've got sinus pressure, so that sucks. But y'all keep Mama Dukes in your prayers. She is in the hospital. And she needs to step away from a lot of things right now before it puts her in serious health crisis. So, keep Mama Dukes in your prayers. And okay, rebrand. Been in suspense for hours. Let's get with it.
Rebrand.
I love you, rebrand. So, okay. Lord, where are we going to start here? First off, this is the first thing I'm going to say. You guys.
Not everybody's going to like this.
Y'all are not going to like this, okay? But I know you guys will hear me out. I am dropping my fight with Fancy, and I'm going a different route with things. And here is why. The hate is getting to be too much. And I keep asking her to quit using my name, right? And somebody said, but you use her real name. Well, I don't use her whole real name. I only use her first name.
But we do.
But I do.
But yeah, we do.
Here's what I'm going to do. Fancy, if you're listening, I know your moms or your followers are probably listening. I hope they tell you the real truth of what I'm saying. I'm throwing down the gauntlet. I guess that's the word I need. Lord, like I said, y'all, my words may be jumbled, so I apologize if I get weird words out there. I am no longer going to call you April. I will give that respect, even though I have not gotten the respect, because you do go in lives, whether it be on YouTube or TikTok, any live that you go into with creators that do not know me, you use my first and last name. My first and last name are only on Facebook, which is private. You cannot see my Facebook. I mean, you can pull up the name, but you cannot see things on my Facebook unless you know me. And I have that for a reason, because of the crap we went through in 2019. And you remember those stories. I had people going real life on me then. Because my name keeps getting dropped, I had the crazy Sarah Anderson, not Pink Hat, the other Sarah that they've been talking about, the one with the suicide hoax and all of that stuff. Remember, Kendall, when I said, why is Sarah using this other account the other day? I was a goof. That wasn't Pink Hat. That was Sarah Anderson.
Yeah, I don't think Pink Hat's around.
She sent me a friend's request and then in Messenger. And so that's the problem, because she shouldn't have been able to find me. So what I am going to do is I am going to take the high road here. And I am not going to clap back. I am not going to be snarky. And y'all know that's going to be hard, because I like to be snarky. And I haven't been reading chat, so I'll probably go back to it here in a minute, because I want to focus. I don't want to get lost. I don't want to become that I despise. And I was on the brink of being that. So I also will not entertain here on out people needing to tell their story of leaving her. They are welcome to come to me and talk to me, and I will walk them through and on how to go a different direction. And I will listen to you, and I will be a friend. But once bitten, twice shy. And we're going to get to that stuff with Sarah Pink Hat here in a minute.
Yeah.
Enough is enough. You know, guys, enough is enough. From here on out, what Kendall and I will be doing is, when we hear things that don't fit the facts in our opinion, we are going to show the actual fact to debunk what's being said. And that's not going to be just towards Fancy.
Yeah, that would be towards anyone. Because here's the thing, like I've always said from the very beginning, Fancy has a story to tell. She has an amazing story to tell. I believe that somewhere along the way, vengeance got involved in hate, rightfully so. I mean, everyone in this has been hurt one way or another. I don't have to agree with her. She doesn't have to agree with me. I'm never going to change her mind. She's never going to change my mind about certain things. But both things can also be true at the same time in certain ways. So that's where we stand with it. We're getting blamed for things that we have no part in whatsoever. Everything I've done personally, my name is always on it. I take full accountability for everything that I've been involved in. And most of that's always been on my page. The other two things, Brandy had nothing to do with. Nothing, but because she's, I guess, my Siamese twin, she gets blamed. So we're getting blamed for a lot of things that absolutely has nothing to do with us. We don't even know who the people are either. And it seems like when that side can't come up with an answer, they just blame everyone. And
hey, Michelle,
that's getting very aggravating.
Well, and here's the thing, and I'm going to use Exposing the Good Wives channel. I'm just going to use that channel for right now, because that's the one
the one they're targeting. Yeah.
We are getting blamed for being a part of that channel, being behind that channel, helping the channel, whatever. You know what? They had me blocked up until I did that live about Brian and Fancy the other day. And I can show a message where somebody sent me, hey, they said they unblocked you after listening to your live. Just
Well, me and you had messages between us months ago when we realized that we were blocked. Didn't even know we were blocked.
right. And I can even show where I have talked to them about situations going on. I don't have the time to talk to myself if it was me. But I don't see Exposing's channel as mean. They're using her own words. And to me, that is a different kind of situation, right?
Right.
So, but when we're talking about the channels that put her face on characters and I don't know, there were some weird ones I saw today because I'm just like, that's just weird.
There's some mean ones out there. I've been part of it. I mean, it's like a lot of my videos, I've always used her words and tried to use her inconsistencies and all of that stuff. And I was definitely been a part of it. I'm just on my channel, only on my channel. I'm just saying I no longer am going to do that. But as far as exposing, I'm not against exposing. I haven't seen her do anything related to Fancy that isn't just her own words. I'm not going to go against somebody that.
Jojo, what's not true, hon? What part wasn't true?
The cutting board, make sure, I mean, I get it, you went ahead and blocked, but I've seen 2 fake accounts out there now. I don't know if you're talking about Pink Hat or the other Sarah, but Pink Hat's got 2 fake accounts out that someone's used her picture.
Oh, with that we were, yeah, we aren't with Exposing.
Yeah, we're not. I don't know who Exposing is. I've always said I don't want to know who she is, but it starts getting aggravating when, and I don't mean this just against Exposing, because it's that several other pages too that they are protected because nobody does know who they are, but those of us that has used our names are getting the blame for it. And I don't want to know who she is. Won't even try to find out who she is. I just know we're not involved. As far as I know, it's one person.
Anything we've ever had to say, we've done it on our own platforms. I don't go on other. I had in the beginning, back in like January, February, I would go on people's chats and I would run my mouth because things were getting. I had sat quiet for 7 months and I'd had enough. And so, but if I've had claims to make, I've done it right here. And what is the saying? Said it with my whole chest. I say it and I own it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she made a comment the other day that even my title of my live, It's All a Distraction, was stealing her name. No, it was being snarky is what it was. I mean, I was making a point. I was being an asshole, period. But when you start clapping back at people for everything they say, then it's I clap back at her for what she just did. Then she does 500 videos clapping back at me. And then I do another video to clap back at her. And then I lose my content.
You lose your credibility and professionalism. And we've let that slip because of feeding into it.
Right. So the only way to stop that,
Michelle, I agree,
is to change my direction.
Yeah.
And Boston Chick, you're right. That I can only be responsible for me. And I had gone to Kendall, I don't know, 2 weeks ago and said, I love you, but I need this to stop. Yes, Dina, it turns into beef streaming. And that's all it is we're just clapping back at each other. And what are we doing? We're just throwing shit at each other and nothing's getting accomplished. And
I had already told you I was tired of it, though.
Right. We'd already been kind of saying this is getting old.
You said that, but I'd already told you before. I'm just tired of it. I want to go back to the facts.
Yes, Harley Kim, you're right. Harley Kim,
the facts, and I don't care if it's Fancy that says something that I have fact for that is not how she says it, or if it's somebody out left field that we don't even know. And our facts that we think might prove A, they might use the same facts to prove their B. We don't have to agree.
Right. What I want people to stop doing is forcing people to see things your way. Don't get mad if I sit over here and I say I see XYZ in this part of the case and this is how I view this. Allow me to have my opinion on how I view this. If I'm supposed to allow you to have your conspiracies on how you're viewing things, allow me to have mine. We can agree to disagree. I've got people in this chat that don't agree with how I see things.
Me and you don't agree on certain
Right. And that's
some big things we don't agree on.
They think that we are one and of the same, but there's a lot of times we don't agree.
We don't agree on Gypsy.
We don't.
At what Gypsy's doing right now, I'm not okay with.
Oh, well, I'm not okay
She's
with it.
okay with it. I'm not.
I'm not okay with it. I understand it.
Okay, right. There's a difference, definitely. But I'm not. I think she's hurting herself, and trying to rebuild back any kind of normal life means stop the internet shit.
And Harley Kim does get dragged from, and she doesn't do content on other people. And that is
right. Harley's always name being brought up, and bless her heart.
Michelle, really? Do you think you can call truce like Ryan and Fancy did? No.
That is not what this is.
No.
This is trying to give respect and hope that they can give respect back to just stop this going back and forth at each other.
Friends. Her and I are completely opposite on Gypsy's story. No, Fancy and I have tried to call the truce like her and Ryan did many times, and we have too strong of personalities to give. And Fancy does like people to see the things the way she sees them. And I can't do that. I never have been able to, and that's why we butt heads. And it's just not ever going to heal. Would I like to have a truce to where we could be in the same chats and not be going at each other? Yes. Because it makes it uncomfortable for other content creators. And that's not okay. Stevie says, Gypsy is messy and reckless right now, but I also understand why she is making a mess like most of us done. Yes, that's
well, a lot of what we're seeing now goes back to the psychology side of this case that nobody wants to really dig into. There's just a page in their book, and it's half of the story. But I know she keeps throwing up at me with the Colleen situation and the other situation with the young girl. And I don't watch her or Ryan, but I'm at work the other day. Phone starts blowing up. Brandy starts telling me what they're putting up about Sarah.
Yeah,
and I can't be on my phone continuously while I'm at work. So I'm spot checking, right? Every time I can get a chance to do it. And I'm seeing the truth that they put out. And Brandy's telling me what I'm not getting to see. She's telling me what's going on. And we had already before this situation, we had already caught several, I guess just lies. I mean, I want to say red flags, but definitely things that didn't add up from the very beginning.
I told Kendall from the very beginning, I don't trust her. And if
everyone told me to stay away from her.
And I even told Pink Cat that if she wasn't, how did I put it, Kendall? I'm trying to remember how I put it. I was tired of taking bullets for people that couldn't stand her own. And if she fucked me over, I would be her worst nightmare. I wasn't going to play nice.
Yeah. But
on this panel, I let her talk. I didn't necessarily agree with everything other than the food thing. I did agree with that because I know my friend does. I don't understand the pizza part of it, but I understand that my friend with pancreatic issues, when she hasn't been able to eat and she's hungry, there's certain things that she wants, and that's the only thing she can keep down. That I understand. She ain't going to eat pizza. But I let Sarah talk. I just let her talk. And she's mad that she had 4.5 hours to talk and did not get her story out and is mad at me and literally went to Veda Jade trying to get my channel taken down.
and then lied to me about it.
And that was where it first started. And I went to Kendall, and Kendall was like, yeah, but that's not, she wasn't seeing it yet either. And then I sent her the whole conversation, and she was pissed.
Well, here was the thing with me with Veda, as is I don't follow Veda. I didn't find Veda. I don't like some of the things that Veda had done in the past, not with this, just some other things that I feel like at the time, not now, but at the time, I felt like Veda does what she does for subscribers and clout and, attention. Not attention to herself, but to build her channel. But then again, that's what you're supposed to do, right? You're supposed to do content that builds your channel. So I didn't like that private text messages was sent to Brandy, and I kept saying, but I don't understand. This is just going to cause problems. I don't understand. I don't believe in when you're friends with someone to send a conversation that you had in private and expose that. I don't like people that do it. I believe it's nasty and it's shady. But then after I calmed down and I heard Veda speak on why she did it, and I understood then her point of view.
She knew I needed proof. If she was going to make allegations, right, I had to have proof.
And after I listened to her herself speak on the live and explain that, even that she even said she doesn't like doing that. So that was where I had the problem. As I don't like that. I think that's shady. It's just shady to me. But so then I went to Sarah and I questioned her. We hadn't really been talking for a few days before that happened. And I questioned her about, did you try taking Brandy's page down? Sarah did not ask to come to Brandy's page. She was either going to go to Veda's, her own, or she asked me to do mine.
She told you she didn't want to do Veda's, but then she was telling Veda other than that.
No, she didn't say she didn't want to do Veda's.
Oh, okay. I thought
no,
she said Veda's because she was Fancy's friend.
No, it's kind of true, but she couldn't decide where she was going to go. And at this point in time, I had spent so much time with Sarah, right? And when I had Colleen reach out to me too. So I was talking to both of these girls, and both of them I'll just say stressed because I'm not putting any other information out there, but I was going back and forth with both of them. And I felt like for the longest time, not that I was babysitting them. I don't mean it to sound that way. It's just that all of my time was going to comfort them. And I'd spent all this time with Sarah, and then she's ready to speak. And she's talking about going on other pages to speak. And I told Brandy, I said, why do I feel used? Like, I feel used that I spent all this time, and now she wants to speak, and she's going to go to somewhere where, and I did tell Sarah that at least on Brandy's channel, if Brandy will let you, because at this time I hadn't even asked Brandy, it's like, at least there we can protect you from the trolls. Now, I think Sarah took that as we're going to protect her from people asking hard questions.
And that
absolutely
was
not. I meant that we would protect her from trolls coming in that, were just being mean to be mean. So she said, well, will you do it on yours? And I'm like, I have blocked so many people on my page because I don't give a crap about my page. It's like, nobody's really going to see it. I've really only got people on my page that I like, so nobody's going to see it. I said, let me talk to Brandy. And she said, well, the last time we talked three-way with Brandy didn't really talk to me. And I said, that's because Brandy don't trust you. Brandy doesn't like it that I'm having anything to really do with you because she has a feeling. And I was like, but Brandy will, if I ask her to, she will. And so that's how I
have this thing about, I'm going to sit and listen, and I'm going to let you talk. So because I'm going to hold you to what you're saying, and I'm going to go back to it. I'm going to catch you on your shit. I just let her talk.
Right. So we went through, she went through everything with me, and I kept telling her, I need proof. I need proof. I need receipts. I need text messages. I need something. I can't go up there and have your back without proof. And she would send stuff here and there, but it was nothing that mattered. There was little bits of things that I guess could have been a big deal, but to me, it was nothing that really mattered in this story. So when I kept telling her, send me, send me the stuff that's got some meat to it that I can prove what you're saying. If Fancy was cruel to you and that's what you're trying to tell me, then you've got to show me something that she was cruel to you, because we've seen cracks in the lives, but we never seen her being cruel. And she was telling me how cruel she was, but she would never send me anything. I got one text message, which was at the end when Fancy was saying something about fuck off Sarah or something like that. But that was at the end of the relationship, right? They were having trouble then. So them going at each other at the end of a relationship wasn't a big deal to me, because when people fight and a friendship's ending, people are going to say mean things. So I really wasn't like being that what Fancy said didn't really mean nothing, because obviously there was problems, you know. And this was the day that they supposedly called the meeting to discuss Sarah going on with the company. And so she would never send me anything. And then we started talking about the money. And the money to me was easy to believe, because I knew that other people had been out a lot of money and had never been paid back a dime. So when she's telling me the same story that's been repeated by most, well, not most, but a lot of people that had left, it seemed very believable. So I pinned her down and said, how much were you out on this trip? And she said 300. And I said, okay, then to be fair, in the live, I will say 150, because if you're splitting everything, then you still went. You still spent money. You still had cost. So you can't ask for $300 back when you were half of the cost. And she said, okay. And then I said, well, how much did she pay you back? Did she give you anything? She said, no. And she said, the only thing she gave me was the $30 for gas, when if it wasn't for Craig standing up and saying, just give her the damn money, Fancy, she wouldn't have gotten that. And then Sarah went off on left field about wanting an oil change and tires rotated and all this stuff, which I'd never even entertained, because
That's weird.
To me, that was stretching.
Yes.
I mean, to me, that's stretching.
But
I don't believe that Fancy owed for no tire changes or any of that. So I never even addressed that.
I did want her to show us what she was claiming she needed beforehand, and we never got that.
Right. So on that live, when I forget which one come in and said, well, how about that $200? And Sarah was going off in left field and rambling about stuff that didn't matter. And I kept trying. I mean, Brand, how much I had to keep bringing her back to the subject. And she's just going off on stuff that had nothing to do with anything. And when I seen that question in the chat, I knew what the answer to that was going to be. I knew that Sarah's going to say absolutely nothing. So I asked the question. I said, here's a question in the chat. And I asked the question, and she said, and there was something about, what did you do with the $200? So I asked Sarah, and Sarah's like, oh, that $200. And then goes off on that. That's where I'm like, shit, because it was obvious she either was lying by omission.
And our conversation after that live, let me tell you what, Kendall was beyond pissed.
Yeah, because I mean, here it's like, I tried with Fancy. I know she hates me, and that's okay. I'm good with that. I'm always going to call out things that I, with her, that I don't see eye to eye with, especially at that time. But when you're putting me in a position that I'm supporting you now for 2 to 3 weeks at this point in time, day and night, the woman does not sleep at night. So, I mean, we're talking hours and staying on the phone 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, which is not my routine. I sleep at night, and just at one point in time, just feeling like I'm just trying to keep her alive. And I'm not exaggerating. It just seemed like, she was Ugh, anyway, and then get slapped across the face to where I owe Fancy an apology to put me in that position. And Fancy, if you're listening, I'm sorry. I mean, I really am, because you put me in a position that only one showing proof here is Fancy. And right is right and wrong is wrong. And Sarah did that to me. So after that, we had more conversations. And
But
I'm
the
like,
sad thing is, it went from 200 to 300 to 500 to, she told Veda 700.
I've never heard 700, but here to get back to that 500, I forgot about that. On the live that day, she started and switched it to the 500 and said that she didn't mean for it to be misinterpreted, that she did give her 200 and she still owes 3. So I start saying, listen, Fancy has showed receipts and you've given me nothing. So give me receipts to prove what you're saying. And she never would. And her comment back to me was, these people now want my bank statements. I draw the line. That's too far. And I was like, no, you can mark out everything that's personal. You can mark it out. But what you spent on that trip, yeah, people want to know, because you did it on mine and Brandy's live. You've now put me in a position where I owe an apology to someone I don't even want to talk to. And she's like, well, I'm not giving my bank statements. That's just too far. And so I kind of at that point in time started pulling away. Just like, you've told lies and you've put me in the middle of it. And I believed a lot of the things that Sarah told me because it went along with so many other stories that other people had told, right?
So inside the purple purse says there's a video of Fancy's showing that she owed Pink Cat $700. Where's that video at?
I've not seen that.
Is it a video that somebody else put out saying that?
Because I don't believe.
Because there's no way that she would have owed her that kind of money. I thought that was insane to hear from
I just don't believe Fancy owes her that kind of money.
Taken that
I don't know that Fancy owes her anything. I really don't.
I don't think Fancy owes her anything. I do not.
I don't. And then the thing with Veda come up about Brandy's page. So Brandy texts me one morning and she's like, I'm being told that Sarah's trying to take our video down, hit our page with a strike. And I'm like, who's telling you that? Because there was so many people that loved me and supported me, but was absolutely very much against me supporting Sarah or Colleen. And so I kept telling them, listen, I'm supporting Sarah because she owes apologies. She said she's given apologies and these people haven't heard it. She has to take accountability for some of the things that she did while she sat on that panel with Fancy. And there's people that I love that were hurt that deserves an apology. And she was willing to apologize to them because she said she had apologized in the past, but they didn't hear it and they wanted to hear it. And I made those conversations happen and I wasn't, both of the people that I made that conversation happen with, I wasn't easy on Sarah. It's just like, this is, I wanted Sarah to tell them why she did what she did. And I wanted them to hear her, to hear why she was so hurt. And then I wanted them to understand why she said it. And, and vice versa. I wanted everybody to hear each other out. And so when we got to the situation with Bree, and we had that conversation and she was explaining to Bree about why she had made the homophobic thing. And she said it was because one of her and Fancy's followers had come to Sarah and said that they were kind of friends with Bree or followed both sides, and that they talked to Bree, and that when the baby's picture, which is the reason that Sarah supposedly posted the homophobic thing, that when the baby's picture was posted, this girl, who we don't know who this girl is, come to Sarah and said, I talked to Bree. Do you want me to go ask Bree to at least take the baby's picture down? And Sarah said, yes, please. So this woman goes, supposedly talks to Bree, comes back, tells Sarah, she said, absolutely not. And then the girl's like, do you want me to ask her again? And at that point, Sarah's saying, no, I'm not giving her, the privilege of telling me no. So when we had the conversation with Bree, and Sarah was saying she had the text message from this girl, and I kept telling Sarah, I need that text message so I can show Bree that you're not this monster that just made up this homophobic thing, that you really had a reason why, that you really thought Bree was the one that posted your baby. And she kept saying, well, it happened like in February. I'll have to go back and find it, but I've got it. I've got it. And I'm like, good, I need it. That will carry a lot that, what you did was wrong. You can clap back intelligently without clapping back like that. But it would make Bree understand a little bit better why you went so low. And Bree listened to her, and they, come to, I guess, an agreement to let things go, but still not forget, I guess is what it was. And I kept saying, I need that text message to prove somebody did tell you this. Never got it. Never got it. So to get back to the Veda thing, the channel was supposedly, Sarah was trying to get the channel down, or to get the videos down. And at first I'm like, no, she's talking about the hotel video. Because we still don't know how the hotel video got out there. That was the worst thing that could happen. The hotel video should have never been made public. And I thought that's what Sarah was talking about. Then Brandy sent me the whole conversation. Meanwhile, I'm over in text messages with Sarah saying, did you try to take the page down? And Sarah says, no, because if I wanted it down, it would be down. Like, what? What do you mean if you wanted it down, it would be down? So then when Brandy sent me the whole conversation, I went back to her and I was like, I have the whole conversation, Sarah. Veda sent her the whole conversation, even the parts that you dirty deleted. I have the whole conversation.
Veda had the whole conversation, and then she went back and had where it showed message deleted, where she was deleting, Pink Cat was deleting her comments on about getting my channel down, or getting the video down to basically strike my channel. And so I had both sets of the conversation to prove exactly what she was deleting.
Yeah. So when I tell Sarah that I have it, she's like, oh, I see what Veda's doing. She's trying to spin this. And I said, no, she's not trying to spin it. This is what you did. So then when Veda went live that day, and I went in and I heard Veda's version of it, and could see why Veda sent the messages to Brandy. And it wasn't just to cause more drama or anything. It was really because she knew Brandy would have to have the proof, and she wanted Brandy to know, to protect her page.
And so
I have a different outlook on Veda.
My response to Pink Cat was that she was not welcome over here at all, ever again. Period. You're not gonna use me and then try to fuck me over. Not happening. So I was already done before the last bit of stuff we were showed. I was already done.
Yeah, Brandy was already done, and I'd already pulled back. Because I have seen some medical documents, and I do know that she is a sick woman. And
she is sick. I've seen it, but it is not getting out anywhere else. She showed me. So I would be able to say it is in fact, it's not doctored documents. Our document. It's one page. She is sick, and I wish her the best and hope that she fights her battles. But this kind of bullshit ain't gonna help her any.
I also know, well, I gotta quit saying I know. According to Sarah, she's also pretty much alone in her family. I don't know the stipulations of what's going on between her and family, but it seems like she's alone a lot. Some of this personality traits that she has, it could be a reason why. I don't know. I don't know, because like I said, I never seen any of that, just what she was telling me. But she seems to be alone in the world.
Harley says, could you think it could be affecting her brain or just backpedaling?
I don't know.
Okay. I
I
would I would have said at that time it could be the meds and everything just affecting her. But with everything else we've seen from the past that's been brought out, I think it's just her. I think
yeah.
it's personality, in my honest opinion.
So then when I'm at work the other day and Brandy's telling me all this other stuff that Fancy and Ron's up there saying, and here's the thing with Fancy and Ryan. I don't trust Fancy no further than I can throw her, and she doesn't trust me no more than she can throw me. No matter what my opinions are with
No,
Ryan,
her, she's still denying that she did it.
yeah, she's it's yeah, still
There's
denying it.
no remorse. She denies it at all.
Is no matter where me and Ryan are, or where we sit, there's certain things that me and Ryan think a lot alike about. One of those is if you're going to show text messages, show it all. Don't edit, don't cut out your part, don't manipulate it. So I had no reason not to trust what Ryan was putting up there. And so as Brandy's letting me know what's going on and telling me everything, all of a sudden, and it has been over a week, maybe even 2 weeks, I hadn't heard from Sarah. And all of a sudden I start getting, she doesn't know that I know what's going on at this point in time. I'm at work. I don't have time to have an argument with her. And she starts texting me, telling me that Ryan and Fancy are live and they're taking text messages out of context and they're mixing text messages up. And Brandy's my girl. She's sitting here saying, no.
Now, Ryan would add like a word to make it dramatic on how she viewed Pink Hat would be seeing the message, but it wasn't enough to change what the message was.
Oh, okay. Well, it's just funny you said that because she told me that. She said she's even adding words. And I'm like, no. So I didn't know that part.
In like something to the effect of for me kind of thing. It wasn't in how the message was written. But it wasn't what she would, that one or two words she would add. It did not change that meaning of what Sarah herself had typed. And I was sickened by what I was reading. Sickened.
Right. So Brandy's texting me and I'm like, I'm at work. I can't watch. Just keep me posted. So, but then when Sarah reached out, I'm like, this is bad. Sarah's like, you tried to get a laptop from that girl. I'm like, it's like you drove the train and Fancy sat back there collecting the profits and you tried to profit too. It's like you told me that you didn't want her to buy the laptop and you tried to talk her out of it, and that you only bought the old laptop because she needed money. And she's like, I did. I tried to comfort her and I tried to help her. And I'm like, no,
that's not in those messages.
You didn't. And I know Ryan can't stand her, but I don't know Ryan lying. I mean, I don't. And the proof is right there. And I'm telling her that, no, you didn't. So then it got down to, did she pay for it? And one of the girls said something about it was $45 for shipping. So by the time I can get back to my messages, and she's telling me, she's like, I said, you've put me in another bad position. I was like, you drove the train. Fancy might have did all the profiting, but you drove it. And I was like, so how do I fix this? Tell me how I fix it. I can go back to the dad and I can make sure he gets a message and say, the one that you're reading the bank statements that got all the money is not the one that sucked the money out of her. Like, it's like a train. Like I'm saying, is Sarah drove it trying to get as much as she could out of the girl. And Vance's just sitting back in the caboose and taking it in. So it's like, how do I fix this? And she's like, I didn't mean to do this and I didn't mean to do that. And that's not how it is. All the text messages are out of context. And I was like, no, there's things it doesn't matter if it's out of context. It's words you said. And I said, you tried to see if there was 2 laptops. You wanted this young girl to buy you one too. And I said, she's like, no, I was just wanting to use her employee discount. You
But
can't
then,
spin it that way.
but then turn around and said you couldn't afford the $75 for the used one.
Right. Because, so my last message to her was, I said, how much did you pay for this old laptop that you wanted to make sure the girl, it could be updated and that it was packaged just right? And, was it worth, you're paying $70. You can't even get one for $70 at a pawn shop. So, it's like, how much did you end up paying if you were paying to help her? Because it sounds like to me, more than you helping her, it sounds like the young girl didn't have enough money to buy another laptop. So she was trying to keep your friendship too, and just trying to give you something, something for you too. And she's like, that's not how it was. And I was like, how much did you pay? She said it was going to be $70, but I I handled it with her father, not with her, with her father. And her father told me to only send 45. I said, so you only paid 45 for this laptop, not the 70 that was promised and the 40 something for shipping, but you're telling me you only paid 45 for this laptop. She said, yeah, that's all the father wanted. I said, so you got a free laptop.
The father was handling the shipping. That's
Yeah.
why he only wanted $45.
So she ended up getting and I know the young girl told Fancy that yes, she paid for it. But according to Sarah herself, she only paid the 45. So as far as I'm concerned, Sarah still owes this young girl $70.
Right, Stevie.
And it needs to be paid. She only covered shipping. So, it's like,
in
okay,
her and in that young lady's mind, it was paid for because of the shipping costs being paid for. That's how she's thinking that.
it
And
might be.
I mean, that's what I'm thinking. I could be wrong there. I could have totally missed the mark, but that kind of fits that. But in the end, you owed her 75 fucking dollars for a laptop. Pay her the fucking money.
And like,
Don't
don't sit there and blame Fancy. I get it. I can't change that the father's seen the bank statements. So even if I made sure to get a message back to the dad that Sarah was involved, I cannot change the fact that he pulled up the bank statements and seen how much money this girl gave Fancy. Now there's things that has not come out that I'm not going to put out. That is none of my business to put out, and that's all I'm going to say. But she was spending every dime she was making, and she was giving it all to Fancy. Now, Fancy's I never asked for anything. I've never seen anything that showed that Fancy asked for it. And I know the young girl was that she loves Fancy. She loves the network, and she was just wanting to be a part of it. Right. So even after what Sarah had told me, even though Sarah left her part out, I am upset that the phone call that happened to let the dad know that they had her on panel that night had nothing to do with me.
You
And
were
I had what, 25 to 35 people in my live that night streaming that live. Some of them are in this chat. At no point in time did I know that another call was being made, or did I say, go make a call. I had no clue that was going on. I am sorry that she was humiliated like that. I know the dad is really upset because, like I said, there's some things that will not be talked about from me. But this is not the first, this is not the second, this is not the third time that she spent all her money with a YouTube creator. If it would have just been gifts, if it would just been, the normal follower wanting to help, then nothing would have ever been said. To go back to the very beginning of this whole situation, I'm not even the one that contacted the father. I ended up taking blame for it because the lady that come to me is a mandated reporter. And she come to me after seeing her full name and said that she was either going to contact the dad or the family. She said family, or adult services is going to be called. I didn't want adult services called. She said, do you want to call? I was like, nope, nope, I'm not calling. Nope. And I find out later that the phone call was made. Then I was able to get, if I wanted questions asked, I could ask this person would ask the father. Me personally, I never spoke to him. But when I say we, I could send a message right now to a person, could get one there within 2 seconds.
And when I asked Kendall about, I said, when did you call the dad? She's like, I didn't. I said, that's what you said. So she had to go back and listen to the live. She's like, oh, that's not.
I mean, like when I say we talked to the dad, like I said, right now, if I wanted to send a message, I could send it to this person. This person's got a real good relationship with the dad. So my problem then come be how can I, because I don't want, one, I never wanted anyone to know who the person was. We went above and beyond to protect the identity. So that was one of the problems that the family has, is the situation with the identity out there. And this person that is the mandated reporter has a good rapport with the dad, and actually has talked to the mom too. And I'm trying to be careful what I say, because I can't, there's just some things I will not put out there. The young girl was put in a position of trying to teach her about life lessons and saving money and, gaining independence and all of that. So when the first conversation happened, he went and pulled her bank statements. Now, no one knew he had access to bank statements, but he went and pulled the bank statements. That is where the problem started. When he seen the amount of money being sent, he flipped out. So now tell me how I'm supposed to fix it. Now, I'm not saying that Fancy ever asked her for anything. I don't believe she did ask for anything. But when you see someone that's young and vulnerable and you know it.
Let's clear this part. Saying that she's vulnerable, we're not saying that she's dumb.
No, absolutely
means we're not saying that. And
no,
that's
I've talked to her. She's very intelligent.
No, but that's what they keep trying to say, that we're trying to say about her, and that is not at all.
Well, no, that's not true. Ron hasn't said that, has she? I mean, that sounds like something Fancy would say, not Ryan.
No, Ryan did say that.
Really?
Yeah, she talked about the girl being smart. Both of them were saying it.
No, I think the girl's very intelligent. I think there's life lessons to learn, which that's fun.
That's a question for you.
Who?
Can you clear? Nicolene has a question. She says, "Can you clear up about Dad talking to police, please?"
Okay. The night that the phone call was made, like I said, this was the very first phone call. When the person asked me, did I want the number and did I want to contact the family, and I said no. They kept saying, but I'm a mandated reporter. I'm a mandated reporter. And what they did was up to them. I knew I wasn't doing it. So
yes, rebrand, she is.
So I'm on the phone with Sarah, like an hour later, not even an hour later. And Sarah's telling me, she's like, hey, this girl, what are we calling her? A, the young girl.
Yeah.
Was telling Sarah.
There is a reason for that, because I am trying to protect who she is.
Was telling Sarah that the police had contacted her dad about Fancy. And I told Sarah, I was like, I didn't trust Sarah at the time. Okay. Because, I mean, this was when we were just starting to talk. I didn't know what was said. I didn't think the mandated reporter would tell them that they're a cop. I just didn't think that person would tell the dad that they were a cop. That just didn't seem very out of character. Even if they're an off-duty cop, they're not going to present themselves as law enforcement. But when Sarah asked me, did that person tell the dad that they were a cop. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. I played dumb with Sarah because, like I said, I still at that point in time didn't know she was playing us. But then I went to the mandated reporter, and the mandated reporter, she is on TikTok and YouTube and all of that, but she doesn't make content. So nobody would know that it would be her because, like I said, she's not involved in anything. She just watches from a distance. But I
Okay, that was really weird.
You there?
Yeah, can y'all hear us? Let me see. Let's check over here. Can they hear us at all?
Yeah, Stevie said they can hear us now.
Okay.
Glitch in the matrix.
I mean, StreamYard just completely shut down.
I thought it was me. I was like, I'm plugged in, I promise. So anyway, I asked, did you tell them that you're, an off-duty police officer? And she's like, no, but the dad and the young girl argue a lot because he's trying to teach her to save money, trying to teach her, life lessons, to be responsible, trying to help her gain her independence. And it's a long-term argument they have. She's got some siblings that makes her life miserable, and she wants her independence. But in order to do that, she's got to learn certain life lessons. And one of them is being able to, gift reasonably, don't give every dime away. And I was like, okay. She said, so the father is going to tell the young girl that it was a police officer, because hopefully by saying that, it won't be a drop down, drag out fight, that the young girl will take it more serious. That, listen, I'm seeing how much money you've given, and this is way over gifting your favorite YouTube creator, which seems to be an ongoing, has been, and Fancy ain't the first. And the father even said she won't be the last. But that's how the police thing come up. I didn't even know that when it happened until I texted and said, did you do that? But so no, nobody on our side did. So I don't care if they try to fancy them, try to press charges on something like that. I know what we've done and what we haven't. I have a lot of the text messages between this person and the dad, and nothing like that was said. Now, there was a fairly long phone call that I don't have access to, but I know in the text messages, nothing like that was said at all. But there's no way for me to fix it when, even if I go back to the dad and I say, Sarah helped pull this off, he still, it ain't Sarah's Cashapp and merchandise and Patreon and cash, just and electronics. That all went to Fancy. And I don't know how and I'm not going to lie to the dad. I mean, the only thing I could do is say Fancy didn't know and she just kept taking. But if you're friends with her, and you were friends with her before and during the time you were taking the money, you had to have known. I mean, I'm sorry the girl got humiliated. I had nothing to do with that.
Well, and here's, I want to talk about that real quick, because
that hurts my heart that
yesterday, was it yesterday? I don't know. One of the days in the last couple of days, Ryan and Fancy were live, and Fancy demanded an apology from us to her, to the girl. I didn't bring anything about this girl public. She was commenting on that live before we ever went live. Her and the other girl were commenting, comment after comment after comment after comment. And I said, well, just send me the proof. They wanted me to see the proof. Well, they didn't send me anything until after I was already live. So I wasn't going in and opening it up and reading it while we were live because we were in the middle of a live. But she has her first and last name on here. And I believe it's her last name, but it is her first name. Here's the thing, honey. Change your screen name on YouTube, please, to protect yourself. I have told many people that months ago. I made people do that. They were in my life. I'm like, please go change your name. Please go change your name. That's your full name. Go change it. It's too dangerous. People are going to get the docs. Just go change it. You need your anonymity online, please.
Yeah, you can tell your inner circle who you are and what your name is, just not the world. Because that was one of the things that Dad was really upset about.
Right.
That she was put on that panel
and
exposed to the world.
And then they do their live and she's on the panel and they're accusing it, saying she had to do that because of us, because of what we did. We didn't do anything about her. We didn't say her name. We did not. I mean, Sarah talked about the laptop and how that went, but we didn't use her name. I didn't let anybody use her name because I was trying to protect her. So I have nothing to apologize for. What I will apologize to A for is her feeling attacked.
Yeah, like I hate that shit. It breaks my heart that it breaks my heart the way it even went down.
And I know it upset her that with the screenshot she sent me, I wasn't, because they said it was Sarah's harassing. And so I was trying to understand where the harassing was coming from, but it's chopped up screenshots. It's like nothing in context. So I don't know what the hell they're talking about. It looks like girls talking back and forth and bullshitting and a lot of Sarah pushing them to leave Fancy and things like that. But other than that, it was really, because I even sent it to Kendall and I said, help me make sense of this. What am I missing? And we couldn't figure it out because it was not full conversations to even understand what they were trying to say. And I even told them, both girls sent me it, and both of them are A's, sent me emails with screenshots. And I said, can you explain this to me? And then they were just real snarky back. Well, I mean, I didn't want to fight with them because I don't have an issue with them. I mean, they support Fancy. They have that right.
Yeah.
And I wanted to see their proof. If they had proof of what they were saying, I wanted to see it because I would have called it out. But I didn't understand. And I'll go back and look at them again. Let's face it, with the concussion, I have not really been reading much of anything. I mean, I could open them up on my computer and look at them easier. Maybe I can try that and see if I can figure out what they're saying, because I mean, I may do another live on it if there's something that I need to point out. It wasn't the screenshots that they showed about the laptop and the conversations with Sarah and A. It wasn't none of that. So I know that upset them that I didn't use their proof, but their proof came to me after we were live. I think we were halfway through the live. But there was nothing for me to use for what they were saying. You know, I couldn't make sense of it. And so for that, I'm sorry. I do apologize if they feel like they gave me what I needed and I didn't use it. But I told them I don't understand, you know. So if there needs to be more conversation had on that so that we can understand it, email me and let's discuss that. I'm open to that. I don't have a problem. Never had a problem with that. I didn't want either one of their names out, but they had left 500 comments, and that's exaggeration, but there were a lot of comments left before the live ever started. So anybody coming in saw their names and who they were and what they were saying, and then what Sarah was saying. And so 2 and 2 were put together. That's not on me, honey. That's on you guys for leaving your comments on there and your names being your real names on YouTube. Please, for the love of God.
But I know, like, if Fancy wants me to fix it, but I don't know how to fix it because I can't change what the bank statement says. If the bank statements were being divided up between, 2 or 3 people, then maybe I could go in and say, listen, it wasn't just Fancy. There's a whole band of them here. There's 2 of them. But it would be a complete idiot of me to go and say, make sure he knows, here's everything that Sarah did, the one you did the laptop with, and then him say, Yeah, but I've got the bank statements and I see where it went. And it's a lot more than just supporting your YouTube person that you like. Now, if anyone else, when the laptop come around, I didn't make a video on the laptop when the laptop was given. I could care less. I
Hey,
could care
girl.
less. I didn't make a video about the laptop until I was told who it come from and what else they were spending with the
Frank,
company.
get in. Off. Off.
And
When you have an
when I made the video,
get in.
I beeped out her name when Fancy said it in the video where she did the unboxing, which I don't understand why Sarah didn't want her to unbox it. If you get a gift, of course you're going to unbox it. The person that gave it wants to see you get it. So, I mean, out of the thousands and thousands of followers that Fancy has, nobody else was stepping up and buying a laptop. Nobody else was doing all that this young girl was doing. So it looked like the vulnerable person, not at all dumb, by no means, or anything, just young and just not naive and just a little bit weaker when it comes to making those kind of decisions. And if you knew her and she was your friend, then you would have known that. So why take advantage of that? Why wouldn't there a conversation of, honey, I know you're only working a few days a week at this place and you're not making much money. I'm your friend. I'm going to love you. You don't have to buy the $30 Patreon. You ain't got to buy hundreds of dollars of merchandise, and you ain't got to gift me every time I go live. And I'm not talking roses. And you ain't got to give, cash out more than once. You want to send $25, $50? That's fine. But it was more than that. At least according to the dad, it was. So, that's way over and above a normal follower supporting a creator. And I don't care how you twist it. Still, even if Sarah helped, and it's obvious she did, thank God the young girl loved Fancy enough more than Sarah and wasn't trying to,
Nicolese says Sarah didn't want the unboxing video out because she was calling the lady a stalker behind the scenes. And that is what they're saying, and that is what they show.
Yeah, we've seen proof of that. Now, I've been told, again, don't have no proof of it, but that several of them were talking bad about the young girl, and we're saying things. Supposedly, the Amy girl, the one that sounds like she smokes a lot. Which one is that?
Is that the one that's always up on panel, Mac?
Yeah, is it Amy or Mac?
It's Amy Mac.
Oh, okay, well, that one.
Her first name is Amy, and the last name starts with Mac. But
she supposedly was in a group that talked bad about Fancy, that was in there with all those girls that were on the panel that night that they brought the young girl up on panel, was supposedly in a group chat with them. And when they were kept talking bad about Fancy, the Amy girl, or whatever her name is, she left because, I have no proof of that, but that's what was said. And it made sense. So I, again, hate brings people together. It guess it's human nature. But if I don't know how anyone wants me to fix it.
There's no fixing. I mean, there's more.
I can't change bank statements.
Right.
I can't change the father's mind, what he sees in black and white.
Crime Rewind. Beta, hey, hon, how are you doing, girl? We were discussing the text messages you had of Sarah trying to get my channel down, and Sarah's other BS that she's been doing, and where that stands, and also the fact that we're calling a truce on our end. We can't be responsible for other people, but there's not going to be any more clapback. And
but anyway, Fancy, if you have an idea how you want me to fix this, or how I will, not for you, but for the young girl. I just don't know how to do that when the proof is in the dad's hands. That's all. I just don't know how to get around that. I just don't. It breaks my heart that her heart's broken and that she feels humiliated and that she feels like I'm the one that did it. When there was proof, I'm not the one that did it.
No, we kept her name out of everything.
I took face of it because I'm not going to expose who did do it, but Brandy has seen proof.
So
But
Stevie said again, Brandy and Kendall, you did nothing wrong. There is nothing for you to fix. It's not your situation. I stand firm on how I feel about her being a vulnerable class and easily taken advantage of. And that needs to be thought about going forward because of what I have seen about her. And so from that, I'm going to hold my ground on that. I protect her in the way of I don't use her name over here. I don't let people use her
I
name.
don't want to talk about it anymore after tonight. Like I said,
Right. This is it.
Fancy, if you think there's a way that you can spend this, that I can tell the dad why all that money come out for, and that he's going to accept that, I will get a message to him. But I don't understand how that can be fixed.
Crime One, the bank statements we're talking about are the dad seeing the autistic girl's bank statements and being upset about how much she was giving to Fancy. That's what that is about. There's not anything to fix because that's with that family and what they have found. And
the family knows this young girl better than anybody else does. And I promise you, where it seems like he's overreacting, and I know it sounds that way, but if you knew just a little bit more, you would understand. And that is not my place to put out. It's not even my place to know. But just know he's trying to protect his daughter. He doesn't know Fancy personally.
Kim, we're not going to get the honesty.
But for her to even take it personal, I know it feels personal, but for the father, it's not. It's just the father trying to protect his daughter from giving every dime she's making away. And it might not, she's not making or wasn't making much. He wants her to learn independence and to grow in life. And she's got to learn certain things. And it's not our job to teach her. It wasn't like I said, I didn't even know the person was going to contact the father. They asked me, did I want the information and me contact him? And I said no, but they did anyway. And then it was done. But
so Crime Rewind says, how much did she give her? I thought it was just a computer. No. There's a lot of cash apps. There's Patreon.
How the father pulled it up was he first pulled the bank statements up. And he first said, well, it looks like she's given quite a bit, but it looks like she's given quite a bit to 3 or 4 different creators. And this person says, what's the name of the creators? And he starts naming them. And they were all Fancy in some way or another. It was either Cashapp or it was the Patreon or it was the Mad Ginger, Red Ginger, whatever that is.
Mad Ginger.
And Good Boss Network. So it went down to gifts on TikTok, cash, real cash, and the laptop and the Good Wives Network
memberships and the buying
merchandise
from the merchandise stuff.
And that's when he lost it, when he realized that all of that was going to one person. And then it goes into, this is not the first time that this has happened. She finds creators and she wants to be their friend, and she has friendships with them. And I don't know if she feels like it's nothing wrong with her wanting to support a channel or any channel, but to learn the life lesson, you don't have to give every dime you're making to that person and put yourself in a bind, and everything your family's trying to teach you don't want to listen to because.
And it falls down to the family being concerned.
And it's just the father trying to protect her. That's it.
So,
and just understand, you don't know as much as you think you do, Fancy, when it comes to this situation.
Kendall was blamed for making the phone call the night that they were live and she was on panel. And Kendall was live at the exact same time streaming So Said Live. And so it wasn't her. There was no way for it to be her. She was live. And
I didn't even know about it when they were doing it.
They went off on Kendall about it and want Kendall to make that right. But Kendall didn't do it to make it right. So that was another thing. Yeah, it's just a very it's a gray area and a slippery slope, Crime Rewind, and that's why they said this week they want us to apologize and make things right. And so that's why we're talking about now. There's nothing for us to make right. We apologize for the fact of a feeling the way that she does. And
there might be a way to build back the father's trust if she's your friend, and you send her a book like you said you're going to, and you continue to be her friend and be good to her and allow her to participate without her having to give any money. Or if it's a true friendship, then the father will see over time that, hey, this woman really does care about my daughter. It's not about her money.
And Fancy said the other day that she had a really good write-up about a case, and it was really good information. And she was
do that kind of stuff. Build the father's trust back.
Right. And that, you know what, I applaud that. Do that. Let her do a case. Let her pour herself into that kind of stuff. Give her that.
Or there's this too, I know everybody's strapped for money right now. We all are. But you can also email the dad and say you didn't understand the whole situation and start paying her back a little bit of that money. Just even if it's $10 a week, just to show him that it was never about the money. It was really about our friendship.
The dad saw the bank statements. I don't think he showed it. He was just reading things off of the bank statements.
Yeah. I agree, Veda, that the in this situation, since it's happened before, that absolutely the father should have been monitoring better. But you also, since there was a friendship there.
No, they're not.
Fancy and this person was absolutely, supposedly, friends, and she knew the situation. She could have had a talk with her and said, I'm your friend, honey. You don't have to give. She only getting 9 hours. And, a week, if that much. I forget what was said. And just have a talk with her when all this money keeps coming in, and, just be in the situation as it is. I know I would have, and all I can do is speak for me. If I knew the situation, it was someone that I was really friends with, that I really cared about, and I knew their situation, like she says she does, just had been a conversation to, honey, you ain't got to pay $30 a month for Patreon and buy hundreds of dollars of merchandise. And you ain't got to send me $20 and $25 gifts every time I'm live. I know your situation. I love you. Send me a rose. That's cool. Just support the channel.
What are you wanting, dog? You just went outside. Oh, God darn it. I guess we're going to take Rena on a walk outside real quick. Veda, he's been told. So he knows that Sarah was also involved. Because he has been informed.
Yeah, it's pretty much, like I said, Fancy collected and Sarah drove the train. And I will never say that Fancy ever asked for anything. I don't believe she did. I believe she kept letting it roll in.
No, Nicola, she's not.
Yeah, but I don't believe that she ever asked for anything. I don't. I believe that was left up to Sarah. Now, I don't know I don't know why Sarah would do it if there wasn't conversation between Fancy and Sarah of saying what size I need and all that. But I can't prove there was or there wasn't. It seems funny somebody would try so hard to get something for someone else, but that part I have no proof of.
Nothing like walking out on the porch and there's a goose on the front porch. Dee, go to the backyard.
Right, Elliam. It's like, I just feel like if you knew the situation and you were really friends with this person and you realized what her income was because you knew.
Well, and hopefully, guys, look, here's me being a nice, changed person on this story. Hopefully now that Fancy knows that it's way more than what she's thinking, she will start doing these things that we mentioned and start helping the girl not buy the love. Give her the chance to buy it by doing content for you and helping you with a case and all of those things. And let's surely Fancy will stop a minute and think and do things differently from here on out.
So, Veda, do you really believe you're saying Sarah was messaging behind her, this girl behind Fancy's back, telling her all this stuff that Fancy needs? And do you honestly believe that Sarah was doing that all by herself?
From the message we've seen, yes. From those messages that were shown, it was Sarah.
Well, I get that it was Sarah was doing it, but you don't believe there was any conversations between Fancy and Sarah at all? Like what would be in it for Sarah to get all this stuff for Fancy?
Maybe
I mean, I
that's
get Sarah's trying to get stuff on her own,
could
but it
that
was
have been her
definitely
way?
Fancy first.
Could that been her way of buying Fancy's love herself through somebody else?
Oh, I definitely believe, yes, that she was trying to take money from the girl, that Sarah was trying to take from the girl. Absolutely. That part I agree with. There's common sense and then there's way out in left field. And I don't see that somewhere along the way there wasn't a conversation about the laptop and what size you need and how much you know, I don't know. It's just I don't know. Like I said, at the end of the day, there's only one person all of it went to, and it wasn't Sarah.
You're right. I'll check this. Sorry.
Well, she had a conversation about her not sending money and her know the situation, then you can always not accept the money.
Right. Crime rewind. That's a good point. Something like that to give her something that she feels like she's a part of things. I mean, that would help the whole situation. And I hope, look, I told y'all I'm turning over a new leaf because I'm over this crap. I hope that Fancy will stop with the sometimes I think from my experience with her that because she's so angry at some of us that she will go against everything we're trying to say and make it differently or make it worse.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that she will say, you know what, those two have a good point. Let me do something different so that I can help this young girl not be taken advantage of. So I'm hoping.
Yeah, those messages definitely show Sarah trying to bait her. Definitely. And she can deny it all she wants to, but she never showed me any proof of anything to say any different than what Fancy and Ryan showed.
Yes, Veda, she was. I agree. So Stevie, you didn't take that from those messages. See, I did take it from those messages that Sarah was really trying to bait A in order to get A to buy her a laptop and to buy her this and to help her get this
Yeah, she even talked about headphones and earbuds and
yeah.
and all that. Yeah, I agree with that part.
Gee, don't come in here being ugly. Don't be snarky in my chat. You're new. But we're not gonna play that. You will be out.
And if Fancy did tell the girl, or did have a conversation with her about you don't have to do this, then I wish Fancy would show it because that is something I could take to the dad. Right now, I have nothing to take to the dad to fix it. All he's got is the bank statements. So if that conversation did happen, let me have it. I will fix it. Because we definitely have the proof with Sarah. And he has the proof of where the money went.
So Veda says, well, here's one example. Sarah came to Fancy and said, hey, the girl wants to buy you a laptop. So Fancy said, okay. And she picked the cheapest one for the girl to buy. I don't know if it was the cheapest one because she did have certain things that she wanted in it. And even Fancy said that. Yes, social
Like I
justice.
said, if there is a way that it is something different than it appears to the dad, I have to have something to show the dad, because all he has is bank statements.
But G, just because she doesn't like Fancy, because they were all agreeing with me just a few minutes ago. And so those that don't like Fancy were still agreeing with me on something nice or decent or however you'd want to put it about Fancy. So that's not necessarily true. I mean,
Yeah, she absolutely did. Veda, I agree. She is trying her best to get one out of her. That's what I'm saying about the used laptop. Is I think the young girl did that
TV part,
just
yes, absolutely.
to make sure, Sarah got something too. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I wish it would have never happened in the first place, but it did. And it don't look good. And if you want me to fix it, then you got to give me some way to prove that it isn't what it looks like it is.
Because G, Fancy's not innocent in all of it either. I mean, she needs to own her own side of things on now that what she does know and stopping it from happening in the future. So it's not all her fault. No, it's not. She did not ask for the laptop. She did not ask for
No,
the.
I was told that the laptop was supposed to have been a surprise for Fancy. Sarah told me that when she come to her and was talking about she wanted to get this laptop for Fancy, Sarah said she tried talking her out of it, which we know is a lie, and that the young girl supposedly said, which again we know now is a lie, that she's going to buy it with her or without her. So then Sarah said that's when she went ahead and Fancy started telling her exactly what she needed it to be, which we also know was a lie. I can apologize for that part of it, but I can't change what the father sees. That's where I'm going
G,
with it.
G, I
I
know
will
what you said
always pay for
publicly.
believing Sarah put me in the
Hold on.
situation that she did. It was a
Hold
hard
on.
lesson learned.
Kendall, I need to deal with something.
Okay.
G, I know everything I am saying is everything that's been said publicly, and that is what I'm dealing with. You can quit riding hard for her and coming at us sideways because I'm not going to put up with it. I'm calling a truce, but I'm not going to put up with bullshit in my chat.
And G, if she did talk to the girl and they want me to fix this, then show us where she talked to her. I have nothing to fix it with when there's nothing but evidence in the father's hand of the bank statements.
Veda, it's not public. It was a private conversation he had with somebody else. No, G, you're fixing to fucking get blocked. We are simply talking about what was said publicly by Fancy herself. Was that loud and clear? Do you understand? I'm trying to be nice, and somebody gonna come in here and piss me off.
Just ignore it. Ignore it, mute it, block it, whatever.
Nobody speculated privately on anything. We're talking about what's publicly been shared and talked about. Molly, stop it. I don't need. Okay.
At the end of the day, the person that did it
Goodbye.
did it based on what I said, and that I take a responsibility for. It was set because I trusted what Sarah said. And I also have text messages from this girl to Sarah, begging Sarah to forgive her and how Fancy had manipulated her. And I've seen that part. So, I mean, I anyway, like I said, if That's I can apologize for, of what I was told and what it appeared to be, and the young girl's comments to Sarah herself that was said to me.
Harley, I'm sorry you're hurt. I meant to comment on that a while ago.
Harley, I know. I hate that I even. It was a private conversation between the dad and someone else who happens to be a mandated reporter. It was not on a live.
Yeah, it's not on a live. It's not in where those text messages and phone calls are not being released because it's between the dad and a mandated reporter. So,
and I'm not pulling no one else into this. I don't care who they are, what you are, or anything. Like it's over after this night.
Yeah, this is our final drama. We're going to start doing other things. We're done. I'm over it. Because real life stuff is starting to happen. Oh, thank you, Kim G. Welcome to the team. It's starting to go real life. There have been things done I didn't even finish talking to Kendall about today that I have to finish dealing with. I've had the kooky suicide hoaxer sending me friends requests and trying to get in. I don't want involved with any of that stuff. Somehow or another I'm getting linked back into some of that shit. Ain't happening. I don't know those people. Don't want to know those people because all of that mess is a headache that I don't want to deal with.
No, social justice. A little bit, but I'm not going to speak publicly on it. But no, I don't know the level. Sorry. It is. It's between the father and the mandated reporter. Like I said, it'd be easy to build his trust back if it's a true friendship. It'd be easy to build his trust back. He just doesn't want anyone taking advantage of her.
It's not the first time that she has done this with a content creator, and it's been a mess before, and that's what they're worried about.
And just to know that the dad knows more than anyone else. The family knows more than anyone else. So it hit a little harder with the father, seeing the amount. And Sarah did put this in play.
So like I said earlier, Sarah is not welcome here. I haven't gone in and banned her yet because that means I have to go through the live to find where she's commented. But I have told her she is not welcome here. Do not come back. I don't want to talk about A anymore because I think it's starting to get a little too much, and I don't want it to be seen as us attacking her or embarrassing her in any way. No. So it is time to move on from that part of the conversation.
Thanks, Kim G.
Anyway, so other than doing Big Brother on Fridays, which I haven't got to do the last 2 weeks, but Friday I ended up having that freaking. Here's the thing, guys. Kendall was mad at me because when I explained to her that technically they didn't even want me to leave the hospital after my concussion, and I'm like, nope, I have to go home. There ain't nobody to take care of animals. I got to go home. And came home.
Another reason why I have to move to Texas.
That's another reason I should move to Texas.
Because she can't walk.
Because I need to live in bubble wrap. I need my own little bubble. They have said that for years. It's truly a joke. I literally want to dress up in bubble wrap for Halloween and a sign that says accident waiting to happen. But so she was pissed off at me because I did not tell her that, and I sure as hell still have not told my husband that. Hopefully he's not watching.
Oh, I'm gonna tell him.
I have not told him because he's still got a couple weeks left out of town, and I don't want him panicking. Because I'm okay. I'm okay.
He loves to talk to me when me and you are on the phone. I'll tell him in a heartbeat.
He's like, she doesn't take me serious, does she? And I said, no, she doesn't. But so Friday, I just couldn't do it. Well, then Ryan and Fancy were live, and so I was told that I was being called to come listen. So I went over there and listened for a while. Then when I commented, all hell broke loose, and then I wasn't leaving because my ass don't get run off.
See, that's why I don't watch none of them.
And then,
Brandy tells me what I need to know. I don't watch none of them.
One of my followers that always watch, they may be watching live, but usually they watch my replays and they always leave my comments. Shout out to you. Woohoo, Lance. They were like, you shouldn't have commented and you shouldn't have gone there when she was going low because and they're right. I shouldn't have. I know better, but I mean, Fancy and I push each other's buttons. We just do. Would I like to get past that where we cannot push each other's buttons? Yes, I would. Will we ever be friends again? Nope. I think we can be social, maybe in time. It won't be next week, but in time.
There just won't be no more snarky stuff on my page. I won't be making any more videos.
Snarky. We're going to be sexual, and we're not even going to do all gypsy stuff. There's other things that we really want to start doing. But I do want to start having fun lives where we pull up like the dumbest criminal videos and comment on stupid criminals that do stupid shit. Social justice. I have not been back to my doctor yet. Tomorrow will be a week. I need to.
Thank you, Stevie. I appreciate that, love.
I think they told me to come back in like 2 weeks and kind of look at everything. But I mean, I haven't had any more. Look, I've been drinking the electrolytes like there's no tomorrow. Like I'm doing one a day. I am peeing every freaking 20 minutes. My bladder's about to burst now because I don't want to take y'all to the bathroom with me because that's just gross. We need to bring a cool helmet. Yeah, I'm not handling the heat very well. And we had gone out. Molly, seriously. We had gone out a couple of weeks or a week before. I don't even remember the time frame. And I think I'd gotten heat exhaustion. We were out at the property getting my stuff from out there, and I think I got heat exhaustion. And because I started having a really hard time, even in the mornings, just out letting chickens out and throwing feed out. And this dog, I swear to God, y'all, she can jump up here, but she's being pitiful, like she can't jump up here, so she wants to bark at me till I pick her up. Stop it. Stop.
Ooh, that's a good idea, Vanessa.
You guys could. Yes, I do. I want to go into those, and there's one I want to talk about, guys, that because I did this whole thing on serial killers, and it's the first recorded serial killers in history, and it literally kind of fits into with like Yellowstone. Like it's so cool. Then I went down a whole rabbit trail of that one, and so doing things like that, just because y'all know I don't like to do new cases because they get too dramatic filled. There's too much conspiracy, and I feel like creators can hurt those cases, so I just don't. We
don't want to do gypsy stuff at all. There's too many other people building their pages on gypsy drama, and
I will social. I will.
You know, I don't want to build a page, but
I've got my electrolytes up and I'm not dehydrated anymore, and my blood pressure now it did spike a little bit the other day, so I'm wearing my watch and watching my blood pressure a couple times a day just to make sure. We were more afraid that it was my heart giving me some issues because I did that a couple years ago. But they were like, no, all that's showing fine. It was just dehydration and electrolytes and heat exhaustion and causing me to faint. And when I faint, I hit my head on the chicken coop. And I didn't think anything about it. I thought, I was fine. I was blackout for like 2 seconds, I guess. It wasn't that, to me, it wasn't that big of a deal. I'm a falling pro. Yeah, once I come inside, I got cooled down. I text my husband and he's like, "Do you need to come home?" I'm like, "You're 17 hours away." "No, I'm okay." And I said, "If I start feeling weird, I will go to the doctor." And I started throwing up, and I'm like, "Oh, that's not a good sign." So I went to the doctor. And then, and oh, this is really gonna piss everybody off. I drove myself. And my daughter's like, "Mom, I would have come and got you." And I'm like, I know, but it's like an hour for you, and it was fine, and I wasn't taking a freaking ambulance. That wasn't happening.
She didn't bother about telling me till the next day that they wanted to keep her.
Yeah. Oh, it was longer than the next day because I think I just told you that 2 days ago.
I could have sent Chase or Des after you. Chase would have loved that.
We'd have had a whole plotting session, but
y'all would have had a bashing Kindle and Mom day.
But also, it's just been a lot of stress. I walked away from the Ren Fair business, and stop it. this dog. And so that's been heartbreaking. And come here so I can pick you up. Come here. Oh my God. Special needs. Look, shit. No, you can't climb on the computer, Molly. So it's just been a lot. It's just, yeah, rebrand. I walked away. They made bad business decisions and didn't want to work through that. And it was going to be a financial issue, in my opinion. And so I just walked away.
I don't know, Lauren. I don't believe anything that comes out of Katie Joy's mouth.
Here is my thing on that, Lauren. When you have a falling out with somebody and then you want to say how bad they were and show all the dirty things, that doesn't say much about you when you were friends with them okaying those things.
Mm-hmm.
So, and with Katie Joy, that's a repeated behavior with her. That's just when you're not doing it her way, then she comes out with shit about you with her 500 defamation lawsuits that have been against her. That's an exaggeration on numbers, but that's what it feels like. Thank you, social. I know I meant to be really I wanted to do fun lives, but I do have a few things lined out that I'm working on. And when they happen, I'll let y'all know, and they'll be fun. They'll be fun things. My life is.
We're still going to do Big Brother.
Oh yeah, we're still doing Big Brother. And I want to do, of course, regular content, but I really want to do a funny day where it's a day where we just pull up, even if it's just stupid animal videos that we're laughing at, and different things, and doing different trivia nights, game nights. I want to do all that kind of stuff. I went last night to, I hadn't gone in a while, and after ending my business relationship, I was just absolutely devastated. It has been like I've unbelievably cried over this decision before I even fully made the decision.
I kept pushing her to make it. Get out.
She knew how stressed I was over it because it was just
take your power back. Get away from those
becoming bad. And my last sentence to them was they could fuck all the way off, and I left.
And then she texts me and says, "I think I took my power back." Yeah, I think you did.
It was fun. But
they don't deserve to sit at your table.
I have not gone to the wine bar in ages, and I'm like, you know what? It's Wine Tuesday. They do wine tastings on Tuesday. I was all excited. So I text my other friend local, my good bestie that was living here, moved to Houston, so she can't come do it anymore. And we always called it our wine therapy days. And she was like, I so miss doing that. And then my daughter-in-law was like, Mom, Chris is out of town. I can come. She's like, I can have one glass of wine an hour because she's breastfeeding. So there's so much they can have, I guess. I don't know. And so we went, and they were doing Friends trivia. Oh my God, we had the best time.
Right, Lauren. She stuck up for him for years. Here's my thing with that. Again, right is right and wrong is wrong. If it was wrong when you were friends with them, then it was wrong then. Not just now because you decided to part ways. Like, if you really believe certain things that you're screaming about now that you knew months and months and months ago, or thought you knew, or you took pieces of the truth and tried to make it your content, it was wrong then while you were sitting over there defending it. But you only say it's wrong now? I don't get that.
Well, and what's funny, guys, is because of this medicine, I don't have a taste for alcohol like I used to. Like going to a Mexican food restaurant, I'd always get the big giant margarita. I have to get a small one now, and then I can't even finish it. So I literally had, in the 3 hours, I had like 2 glasses of wine. And when I called Dave and I was telling him, he was like, damn, babe, that's pretty damn good. I said, I know, right? Yes, buttons. It is. And it's sad.
I wished everyone would just move on and stop.
Well, we can't be responsible for everybody else, but we are. And
We're not responding to
and
any hate videos that come out or
I
anything.
was
At
going
this
on.
point in time, we're done.
I was going on this while ago when I got sidetracked. When they, about being involved with Exposing's channel. Just because I follow a channel or they follow me, because here's the thing, I kind of let whoever follow me. I don't. I very seldom block anybody that drives Kindle crazy. And but just because I'm following them or they follow me doesn't mean jack shit. Because if I'm held accountable for the people that are following me or that I follow, then the same could be said about other people and the people they follow when those people do wrong. I do not tell other creators how to do their content. I have a good friend on here who has a huge channel. She's got 16,000 followers. I adore her as a friend. I do not like how she does her content. I don't agree with it. I feel like she's grifting a lot. And I don't, when she's doing those cases and she starts going that way, I don't go in. I don't support, and I let her do her thing. I don't tell her how to do her channel because it's her channel. I don't tell other people how to do their channel. It's their channel.
And nobody's going to tell me who I can follow, who
Yeah.
I can't follow, or tell me who follows me, describes who I am.
Yeah, Lauren, she's full of shit on that. She wasn't scared of nothing.
I've never heard that one.
So, I guess that's all we have.
Mm-hmm.
We're calling a truce. No more snarky. I mean, I'm still going to be snarky. Let's face it. I'm too snarky to not be snarky, but it's not going to be directed at Fancy. I will no longer call her April. I will give that respect because I have been asking for the same respect. I would like for her to quit using my name in everybody else's channels. I don't know that she will agree to that. I don't know if she's going to agree to a truce. I'm asking for it, and I will hold it to my end. And
maybe with Ryan over there helping, showing a better way to do some things will help.
Yeah, because Ryan and I don't have issues, and that's when she was trying to say the other day that everybody that went to Ryan when they broke up were turning her against her and blah 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 blah. And I was like, Ryan, that's not true with me. I was trying to be a friend and just help you. And she's like, you're right, you were. You didn't do, because I mean, they can say that about me all they want, but I don't do that. There have been people that have left that have emailed me and have let me know that they've left, and this is why. And they've thanked me for what I've shared. I'm absolutely leaving my videos up because I still stand on what I have said in the past. I still stand on those other videos where we pointed out where things were not being on, things weren't true, and certain facts and our truths to what happened with all of us. I'm not taking that stuff down. That stuff is because I'm not changing my story on that. I don't backtrack.
Mm-hmm.
But
it's so far in the past.
It is. I'm done.
It's like those that are going to believe her story is going to believe her story. Those that believe yours is going to believe yours. So, like, why keep it going? And I know I've been a part of that. So I'm just so over it. I'm working so much now that I just don't. I mean, we're still getting blamed for things, and neither one has barely been online in 3 weeks.
Right. And when I do go, like, a lot of them do a lot of stuff on TikTok. When I'm on TikTok, I'm watching the funny videos that I follow. Like, I'm getting laughs on TikTok. And when I've gone into Harley's lives, I'm there for a few minutes and then I'm gone. I've done the same with JoJo.
And Cole.
When I am in lives, I'm usually in Cole's live or JoJo's live. I don't go in other drama lives. I'm just not in there. I don't.
Do you know what I'm obsessed with watching right now? Like, on break the other day at work, I was sitting there flipping through TikTok, and I went down this rabbit hole of them fixing cow hooves. The GP doctor, have you seen him? They take these cows and they put them in this thing, and it lifts all 4 feet of the cow up. And like if they've got a stone in their hoof, they'll fix it. And I'll have to send you a video. It's Like I'm obsessed with this GP Hoof Doctor, I think's his name.
Thank you, social justice. I appreciate that. I try to stay true to who I am, guys. And that is one of the arguments Fancy and I have always had, because I didn't see the case the way she was starting to see it. And that was hard for her to handle. And because that's just her personality. It's just her personality.
Fancy does have a lot of cheekiness and sass. And that I don't knock her for. I don't knock her for that. It's the hateful, nasty stuff that you can't. I mean, those of us that care about Gypsy, and I know a lot of people don't, and that's fine. Nobody's trying to change anyone's mind. But those of us that care about her, she's still a person to us. She's still someone that we care about. So when they're mocking her and being cruel to her, that's still punching at us. So report on the case. Say, do your side, do your conspiracies, do your
these same people that don't like people making fun of their looks and putting their pictures on things and doing all of these videos or whatever, but yet they're doing it to a person.
And they're doing it to someone that we care about. And it's got to be both ways. Like, nobody's saying quit reporting on the case. That's your content. We get it. That's your channel.
But Kendall, that's not true. I think that there are a lot of those videos that are out there about towards Fancy. Those people don't even like Gypsy.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So
I agree with that.
If you want people to not go at you and be shitty, then don't be shitty to other people, because you get what you reap. You reap what you sow.
And there's a lot of people that come in saying how mean she was to them in comments when they were not being mean to her. But I'm not taking up for Fancy, but Fancy gets a lot. I get her being, I can't even believe I'm saying this. I get her being defensive when someone comes in and asks probably a very heartfelt question, I guess is a way to say it. And immediately she gets defensive. And I'm sure it's because of so many hateful ones. Well, but the only way that people are going to break that is everybody, just try to be better humans.
She's extremely hurt. And
she's got a right to be.
And she's extremely hurt by her break with the family and how things have gone down. And that is why she reacts the way she reacts. I've said that all along, and I will always stand on that. But it also causes her to be unbiased. And that can be an issue when you're talking about a case. So, and it causes her to be defensive when people come in and ask questions, and it's just a never-ending cycle of crap.
But it's never going to stop. I mean, you've sent me text messages from 2019, and it's literally like I'm reading what happened yesterday. It's like you're literally reading. 2019 just seems like it was something that would have been said yesterday, because it's been going on for so long, and I wasn't even here in 2019. I can't imagine those of y'all that's dealt with this, and her that's dealt with this for so long. Like, nobody's going to change anyone's mind on the stance that they're on. They're going to die on the hill they're on. I don't even want to change anyone's mind. People can believe the way they want. The only things that I've ever tried to expose is the inconsistencies and lies.
Molly, quit. You're not going to get up here and lick.
Rebrand.
She cracks me up. Yeah, if you were watching the live the other day, I mean, I got her to call me a cunt pretty quickly. I do trigger her, and I know that. That's why I try not to go in where they're at. And when I went into Veda's the other day, I was literally just there because it was about my channel, and I was supporting Veda with that, and it didn't go over too well. And then they called me over to Ryan's and to hear what they were showing. So I go over there, and then she was pissed because I went over there. And so then I guess last night or the other night, whatever night it was, she said, I'm sorry because I did call you over here, but I was in this. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's, and so Cooley, there's a lot me and Brandy's going to talk about when it comes to the genetic stuff.
Yeah, we're working on some things that we're breaking down on.
We're also possibly, hopefully, have a psychologist that's going to come on and not talk about Gypsy, but
that type of psychological damage.
Yeah, the psychological damage and how it changes the brain. How we're seeing, just how as an adult, when your brain is changed as a child, it affects you the rest of your life. And only therapy is going to help you with that. And you got to admit you need the therapy. You got to admit you got to really do the work to change it.
And the work's going to take longer than 8 months.
Yeah, it's going to take years.
I mean, it's
years. I mean, it took with Jip, it took 23 years for that, it's going to take that long to hopefully change it. It could be a lifetime of therapy.
Why are you sitting on my armrest? It's where my arm goes.
I agree, Lauren. A lot of it is how people present it. Yeah, I agree with that. Like, you can't even go, like for us, we can't even go in on a page that likes Gypsy. We can't even go in and make a comment supporting that person's page without getting tons of hate. And I'm not talking about from Fancy's people. I'm talking about, just from the general public that just hates her. And it's like, I'm not trying to change anyone's mind.
I just want to be allowed to have my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And not be told I'm wrong. Because if I'm wrong, then I can say you're wrong. And I mean, there's two sides to a coin, and both sides are right. You know what I mean?
Right. And like I said, there's still a huge part of this story missing that the people that hate her don't want to give credit to. And I understand it. It doesn't make their story as powerful when you leave half of it out. But that's their choice to leave it out. Right. I ain't got a problem with exposing the lies and the inconsistencies. I ain't got a problem with that today. I won't have a problem with that tomorrow. It's just not going to be focused towards Fancy. It'll be anyone that we see that is putting misinformation out there where we have the proof to prove it's misinformation. It won't just be our words. If we don't have the proof, it's not our place.
Kendall and I'm talking about this because I don't do conspiracy stuff. I hate conspiracy.
I love conspiracy stuff.
And she likes conspiracy stuff.
I don't in this case. I think you're doing the case injustice when you do the conspiracy stuff in this case.
I don't with any kind of true crime case. Now, I do like the UFO stuff and I do like government conspiracy, but when it comes to real life people, I don't like it. It bothers me. Because when I talk about a case, I want to look at the black and white. I want to look at what's on paper. I want to look at the paper trail as to what we have. And I don't, when you start doing speculation and rumor mill and all of that, to me, it's a very muddy and dangerous, slippery slope. And I just don't, I just don't do it.
The Norway pathways is one of the subjects that we want to talk about with the psychologist that hopefully we will have soon. I think she's agreed. Like I said, it's not just directly about Gypsy's case, just what, Well,
I would like to compare it to other cases, like
when the brain is changed, it just goes so much deeper. Like I said, half of the story is still not being told correctly. Don't go all Mel Gibson on me. Brand, you are a mess. You
Yeah,
are a mess. Where did our little JoJo go?
She was trying to get me to come to Sir Morbid's earlier. The other day, not earlier, but the other day.
Oh.
I don't know if that's a good idea.
See, I don't watch any of them. I don't know. I very seldom watch anyone.
Well, they're pretty ugly towards Gypsy in general, but it was right around.
Oh, are they?
Oh yeah, yeah. They
the morbid guys.
His panel. He lets his panel kind of do their thing.
Oh, so I don't watch them. I don't like watching lives.
Well, I've known of Sword Morbid for years because I've been in the Krama community since 2020. So and he's got a history. Matter of fact, I went over to this afternoon and was kind of watching a little bit of the Krama stuff. I'm like, oh my God, it has not changed. Same player, same thing, same story. And then they're like, well, I've been trying to watch your stuff to see what's going on, and I don't know that drama. I'm like, yeah, I don't want to know this drama. I'm tapping out. I'm done. I just have more important things in life than to constantly do this back and forth. So.
You're right. The stands on both sides, Dragon, and can't say just not us guys, because I take accountability for this stuff. I mean, I did a bunch of AIs. I love doing them. I enjoyed doing them because I love the AI aspect of it. And in all the AIs, I used only her own words with a little bit of Oprah and Dr. Phil thrown in there. But
I want your 2 cents on it, Social. I want to hear what you have to say when we're talking on it. If you don't even want to come up on, you can even come up on panel. All righty, guys. I think we can call it a night. I think we got what we needed. I hope. I'm looking forward to new directions.
Social. I didn't. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We've had long conversations on TikTok about mental health.
Yeah, you need to get with her. Brie Brand, were you going to be nice to her? Were you really? So I told Stevie before this live started, we were talking, I was like, am I going to have to tell you to be nice tonight? Because it's become a pattern. That's my girl.
Well, and I don't tend to like to control my chat. I like to let them voice their opinion. I just don't want to be ugly to each other, and that's where G was going a while ago. And you're not going to sit here and tell me that I'm doing something that I'm not doing. No, we're not playing that. Not happening.
Anyway, that's all I got. I'm done with it from this point on. I don't care if they make 5 or 6 more. Let me tell this, because I know most of my people are here. Don't send me nothing. Don't send me clips. Don't send me screenshots. Don't send me links. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I am not addressing it. I don't want to see it. I think I have everything blocked so I don't accidentally see it. But just please don't. I don't want nothing to do with it.
Oh, it was.
And I say that very respectful because I love you guys.
It was a live that first live was when Mac ran for Fancy and they shut Sarah down.
Do what?
Hey guys, I'm gonna throw up some music and close this out. And y'all have a good night and a good rest of your week. And see y'all Friday.
What time Friday?
2:00.
Okay. Love y'all.